I did have a Red Sox question that I wanted to ask Cooch, because we hit on the Varitek issue last week, and we discussed it a little bit. But now I saw today or yesterday, the Red Sox released Jon Couture. So does this mean that Varitek is going to accept that backup role, and this is going to be who he is on the team?
Well, it's not even so much accepted as we're already kind of there. If you look back during the playoffs, Varitek didn't catch. Victor Martinez is this team's catcher, and it's for obvious reasons. He's the better offensive catcher. The pitchers have gained consistency with him and have gained familiarity with him. And by releasing Couture, you're basically you've got another space now on your 40-man roster that you can get, a Rule 5 guy. You can get another prospect on there. Couture, the issue with him throughout the season was that he didn't have any options, which meant that in order to get him back to the minor leagues, they would have had to expose him on the waiver wire to any of their team to grab him without any sort of compensation for the team. So they kind of kept him in. They kept him around. They had space for him. He worked well with Wakefield. He was able to go on the DL when Wakefield went on the DL, but it just really wasn't going to work for him here. So now they've got prospects in the system who are strong, and they've now got a backup established. So there's not really a space for him. So
I'm gonna assume that then Varitek will continue to catch Beckett, as Beckett prefers to work with Varitek. Is that fair?
That's probably fair. A lot of it will probably have to do with what Varitek feels like he can best do, whether that's something he decides or whether that's something Francona decides. It's been shown over time, it's not just with Victor Martinez, but the more a guy catches, the more abuse that you see in what he's able to do offensively. Right. And we saw last year, whether it had to do with durability or it didn't, Varitek was a perfectly acceptable offensive catcher during the first half of the year. A lot of that was just because his hits were extra base hits, but he was right there in production with everybody except for Joe Mauer in the American League. But as time went on and the abuse, he took more games and more innings, his offense went into the toilet the same way it had the year before. So as a backup catcher, it's going to be fitting him in such a way that it complements what Victor Martinez can give you.
And I believe I heard somewhere, too, that Martinez said he's actually excited about the prospect of catching a knuckleballer all year. So he's actually looking forward to working with Wakefield.
Well, that's the kind of thing that you say before, you've chased 7 balls to the backstop.
Victor Martinez, though,
I'm scared of hailing that.
Victor Martinez is a cool guy. I mean, he just seems like he's the type of guy you would love. I mean, who wouldn't want to have that guy on their team?
Our tech question, then we can move on to some Patriots talk.
I've already got my hand ready to ring the bell.
Keep it there. I don't know if this is going to be an easy answer for Cooch, though. Can you have the backup catcher who's going to play somewhat sparingly? Can he still be the captain of your team?
I think so, because the captain of a baseball team it's just a ceremonial post. There's not really anything to it. You look at some of the guys in the past who've been considered kind of clubhouse leaders. The one that jumps out to me is Eric Hinsky. And I don't know how well that was known publicly, but the people in that clubhouse loved Eric Hinsky and Alex Cora to another extent. Those are backup guys. But they're guys that are kind of that sort of tethering, they bring everybody together, they keep cliques from forming. Just because you're not playing every day, it takes a certain kind of person to be able to do that.
If anything, if you're not playing every day, you got more time to deal with that crap.
Yeah, you can focus on running fantasy football leagues.
Yeah.
But
I got the day off today. I'm going to see if I can talk some sense into Papelbon.
Varitek has just been so established there that I have no real concern,